a pocket universe of the multiverse, a town exists where only scientists and engineers live, each burdened with personal struggles. To cope, they create extraordinary devices, time travel, body swapping, and even time manipulation. The city is highly advanced and follows one rule: study hard and progress. Good grades guarantee a job at the Loop, the powerful company where scientists run extreme experiments and even discard their greatest inventions as junk. Loretta returns home after a school test and sees her mother Alma, a Loop scientist, arguing with a man. Alma stole a dangerous element called the Dark Core to prove her theory, but the man warns it could kill them both and demands its return. Alma continues basement experiments, believing it contains a black hole energy, while neglecting Loretta, who still dreams of joining the Loop to work with her mother. That night, the Dark Core releases violent energy, causing a blackout and shattering windows, terrifying Loretta, who hides until morning. After scoring well, she earns a Loop tour and goes there, but finds Alma absent. Returning home, she discovers the house has vanished, leaving only the Dark Core fragment. Shaken, she begins searching for her mother through the ruins. A short distance away, Loretta notices a boy her age named Cole throwing snow at an old junk robot from the Loop. As she talks to him, she opens up about her mother and everything happening to her. Hearing this, Cole immediately decides to take her to his mother, hoping she might help. He doesn't really know Alma, but his own mother is also a scientist at the Loop, so there's a chance she could understand. However, she is always too busy working and barely pays attention to Cole or his older brother Jacob. That's why Cole was venting his frustration by throwing snow at the abandoned road. When Cole brings Loretta to meet his mother, she is again completely absorbed in work, scolds him harshly, and sends him away without listening. Inside the house, Loretta also notices Cole's father George, who has a bionic arm and is emotionally distant due to past trauma, leaving the family disconnected. Jacob is Cole's only real companion. When they meet Jacob, he is studying supernovas and black hole formation. As he explains, Loretta realizes the Dark Core must contain black hole energy, meaning her mother and home were swallowed by it. She shows Cole the Dark Core, which suddenly begins floating, shocking him. Though she understands everything, she refuses to accept losing her mother and continues searching, arriving at the Loop. There, Guide Geddes finds no record of Alma. Later, it's revealed Cole's mother is also named Loretta, and the truth hits hard. Loretta has time traveled into the future, and Cole is her own son. Because both Lorettas are actually the same person, the younger Loretta quickly figures out where her older self will be and rushes to meet her without wasting a second. When they finally meet, the younger one instinctively touches the older Loretta's nose, and the older one does the same. They notice they share the exact same nose bridge mark, confirming they are truly the same person at different times. When the younger Loretta asks about Alma, she learns the heartbreaking truth: Alma never returned after disappearing that day. In response, the older Loretta dedicated her life to the Loop's experiments, trying to rewrite the past to save her mother. Hearing this painful truth, the younger Loretta realizes Alma can no longer be brought back. She gently tells her older self to stop chasing the past and focus on the present, warning that otherwise her sons, Jacob and Cole, will grow up without parents just like she did. The older Loretta realizes her mistake, remembering that someone once told her the same thing in her childhood. Before sending her back, she explains her future. She returns, studies hard, becomes a scientist, marries George, the son of Loop's owner Gus, and has Jacob and Cole. The younger Loretta returns to her timeline through a dark core sphere, while the older one becomes emotional and embraces Cole at home, finally prioritizing her family. Jacob, however, struggles. He dreams of being an artist, not a scientist, despite pressure from his parents. He feels isolated, secretly liking Mia, while his extroverted friend Denny suddenly gets a job at the Loop. One day, Jacob and Denny discover a mysterious old portal attached to discarded Loop machinery. Denny enters it first, triggering a body swap device that switches their minds. Terrified at first, they reverse it, but Denny persuades Jacob to secretly live each other's lives for a day. They agree, unknowingly setting everything into motion. Jacob, now in Denny's body, starts painting a wall, while Denny, in Jacob's body, goes to his home. While working, Jacob is approached by Denny's girlfriend, who mistakes him for Denny and tries to get intimate. Awkward and inexperienced, Jacob is initially shy, but curiosity and emotion take over, and he goes along with it, discovering a carefree side of life he never knew. No pressure, no expectations. Feeling strangely happy, he even enjoys a shower at Denny's home, believing this life is easy and free. But that illusion quickly breaks. He learns Denny comes from a poor family. He has a younger sister who cannot hear or speak, and when she tries to communicate with Jacob using sign language, he cannot understand her at all, leaving her isolated and him helpless. Then Denny's mother reveals the painful truth. Denny never actually got a job at the Loop. He lied to impress others. She constantly pushes him to work so they can survive, but he ignores her struggles. Shaken, Jacob discovers Denny's pet spider and panics, locking it away in fear. That night, he dreams of his real home and wakes up to arguments about Denny's future. The next morning, Denny's father takes Jacob to school in an old car, while Denny enjoys Jacob's luxurious life and begs to extend their swap. Jacob reluctantly agrees, but everything collapses when he catches Denny kissing Mia in Jacob's body. Furious, Jacob confronts him and demands they switch back immediately. But Denny refuses. Jacob's life is rich, comfortable, and offers a guaranteed path into the Loop through Gus's influence. After that, Denny realizes he no longer needs to do small jobs, because he can live a comfortable life forever in Jacob's body. Hearing this greedy confession, Jacob becomes furious and attacks him. But at that exact moment, George arrives. Not knowing anything about the soul-swapping device, he thinks Denny is trying to hurt his son Jacob. In anger, George throws Jacob's consciousness, still inside Denny's body, out of the house, leaving Jacob devastated and helpless. Jacob then believes that if he uses the soul-swapping device again, he might return to his real body. Holding on to that hope, he searches the forest, finds the broken robot, and enters the mysterious portal again. But nothing works as he expected, and he ends up trapped. That night, while Denny is pretending to study in Jacob's room, George tells him that Denny has gone missing from the village. Denny ignores it at first, but then he notices Jacob's drawing of Mia and realizes how deeply Jacob truly loved her. The next day at school, Denny tries to act normal, but feels uneasy without Jacob there. When Mia visits, he gives her Jacob's sketch as a gift. Seeing Jacob's name on it, she becomes emotional, and guilt hits Denny hard. He rushes back to the portal site, but the robot is gone. Instead, he finds his real body lying unconscious. Panicked, he rushes to the hospital, where he learns his body is in a coma. His parents are devastated, waiting for him to wake up. Unable to reveal the truth, Denny feels trapped in guilt. Outside, Mia hugs him and cries, making him realize he has never been loved like this before. But when he returns to the portal, it has been destroyed by the Loop engineers. Broken and desperate, he finally goes to his real home to see his worried sister. Still in Jacob's body, Denny tries to comfort Jacob's deaf sister using sign language, promising he will always be there for her. But later, as he washes his face in the bathroom, he breaks down and admits to himself that stealing someone else's life will never bring peace. That night at Jacob's home, Loretta and George again urge him to work at the Loop. Denny agrees, but his conscience keeps haunting him. Suddenly, strange noises come from outside. When he goes down, he finds the same broken robot from the portal site standing there. In that moment, everything clicks. He realizes the soul swapping only works near the portal, and when Jacob entered in anger, the robot was still present. That means Jacob's soul has now been trapped inside the robot forever. Heartbroken, Jacob, now in the robot's body, walks away helplessly as Denny watches in shock. Meanwhile, Cole becomes emotionally distant due to Jacob's strange behavior and starts spending more time with his grandfather Gus. One morning, Cole finds money in a jar, and Gus secretly replaces fireflies Cole had trapped so he wouldn't feel guilty. Later, Gus learns from a doctor that he is terminally ill. Knowing this will destroy Cole, he takes him to a giant hollow sphere discarded by the Loop that reveals lifespan predictions. Cole hears versions of his own voice showing he will live long, but Gus hears only silence, confirming his time is up. Cole realizes the truth and returns home angry. The family is shaken, but Gus admits he has no miracle cure. Before dying, he names Loretta as the Loop's new leader, believing only she can handle the responsibility, while reminding everyone he gave his entire life to work. Because of that, he never gave time to his family, and by the time he finally wanted to, it was already too late. so he makes Loretta promise that she will always keep her family as her first priority. After that, Gus goes to Cole and takes him under a dim streetlight, telling him that even in the darkest places, light still shines. He explains that Cole must become someone who carries no negativity inside him and shines wherever he goes. Cole understands the message, but his grief for his grandfather doesn't fade. That same night, Gus's health worsens and he is rushed to the hospital, where his memory begins to fade, breaking Cole's heart. Jacob, still with Denny inside his body, doesn't fully grasp the situation and keeps trying to calm Cole down. But Cole believes the loop must have a way to save Gus, so he secretly sneaks into the company with Jacob, heading toward the dark core that once sent young Loretta through time. Before they can act, older Loretta appears and tells him no matter what he does, he cannot reverse time, and Cole must accept Gus's death. At the funeral, Cole matures emotionally, realizing loss forces responsibility and growth. Days later, he returns to the holosphere, and when he speaks inside it, visions of his future life unfold like a movie, showing him peace and direction. Meanwhile, at home, Cole searches through George's old belongings and finds a stun rod, but George quickly takes it away. George then recalls his own past when he was stranded on a dangerous island after friends abandoned him during a monster expedition. He survived a sea snake bite and terrifying encounters with claw-marked trees until a sudden storm engulfed the island, changing everything forever. George hides under a tree to survive and suddenly hears the monster's terrifying screams getting closer. Holding his breath, he stays perfectly still until exhaustion takes over and he falls asleep. In his dream, he sees countless ants crawling inside his room. But when he wakes up, the reality is far worse. Ants are swarming over his wound and infection is spreading. In panic, he runs to a nearby fire and burns the wound with a hot blade to stop it from spreading. Suddenly, the monster appears, terrifying, wearing a high-tech suit. It lunges at him, but George fights back with his stun rod and barely escapes toward the shore. The moment he steps into the water, he collapses unconscious. Luckily, his friends had returned and saved him. However, the infection was so severe that doctors had to amputate his left arm. His mother was shattered, and George was consumed by anger and guilt, cutting ties with his friends. Later, Gus arranged a bionic arm for him through a company, giving him a new chance at life. Though Gus stayed silent about the island, he warned George never to speak of it. Years passed, George married Loretta, but nightmares of the island never left him. In the present, he finally learns the truth. The monster was actually a first-generation human-like robot created by Gus and abandoned due to fear. It only attacked because George held a weapon, and it too was scared. Realizing his childhood fear was just a misunderstood machine, George finally returns to the island, faces the robot again, and sees its broken state and lost arm. When he lowers his bionic hand, the robot understands and calms down. For the first time, they share mutual understanding. Free from his trauma, George finally returns home in peace and happiness. Meanwhile, Denny's father, Ed, is breaking under the weight of his son's condition. He believes his real son, Denny, is lying in a coma, while the Denny in Jacob's body still hasn't gathered the courage to tell him the truth. Hospital bills keep piling up, and Ed's stress turns into constant fights with his wife. His daughter, unable to speak or hear, is bullied at school, and Ed blames himself, believing it's his duty to protect his family at any cost. Realizing his pain, Denny starts secretly visiting his sister at night, but these secret movements make Ed suspect burglars are targeting their home. He reports it, but no one helps due to lack of money for bribes. Desperate, Ed takes an advance from his boss and brings home a powerful security robot linked to his body for control. Now he patrols the house at night. One evening, Denny sneaks into the garage to return his sister's stolen toys, and she happily runs toward them. But Ed, thinking intruders have entered, strikes the garage with the robot's arm. The attack nearly kills his own daughter, terrifying his wife and sparking a violent fight. A power outage follows, revealing dangerous old wiring. His wife urges him to sell the robot, but he refuses, so she leaves with their daughter. Denny is devastated, realizing his selfishness caused everything. His parents are exhausting their savings for a son who isn't really theirs, while the real Denny lives Jacob's life. Filled with guilt, he spirals emotionally. Later, he gets a job at the Loop and turns 18, but is forced out to become independent. leaving Cole even more alone after losing Gus and Jacob. Cole still calls Denny, hoping to see his brother, but is always rejected. A teacher, noticing his pain, gives him a book to understand maturity. Loretta later explains that children must leave home to grow responsible, and Cole will one day do the same. She notices the book and smiles, remembering she once read it too, her name still marked in its corners from childhood. The next day, Cole is once again overwhelmed by memories of his brother Jacob. He can't hold back anymore and goes straight to Denny's apartment, calling out for him. Denny, forced to cancel plans with his girlfriend, meets Cole. During their conversation, Denny finally breaks down and reveals the entire truth. Cole is shattered. His world collapses in an instant. He feels both heartbreak and rage. Denny, apologizing, shows him a photo of the robot where Jacob's soul is trapped. The moment Cole sees it, everything clicks. This is why the robot always seemed to watch him from a distance. Jacob really was inside it. Without wasting a second, Cole rushes to the loop to tell Loretta, but learns she has traveled to another city. Refusing to wait, Cole heads into the deep forest to find robot Jacob himself. After wandering, he finally finds him and hugs him tightly. Jacob understands that the truth is out. Together, they relive memories and play like old times, even though Jacob can't speak, communicating through gestures. Cole hopes Loretta can still turn Jacob human again. They travel through the forest toward the city, crossing a frozen river that suddenly behaves strangely, almost like a time loop. Exhausted, Cole rests while Jacob protects him through the night. The next day, they are attacked by a wild robot. Jacob fights bravely, using both machine strength and human intelligence, but is badly injured. His damaged body finally breaks apart while trying to cross a fallen tree, and Jacob dies for real. Cole is devastated, crying uncontrollably, then gently gathers Jacob's favorite pine cones and places them around him as a final farewell. With Jacob gone, there is no reason to go to the city, so Cole returns home. On the way, he encounters the river again, this time flowing unnaturally, as if trapped in time. A ball thrown into it returns backward, and once he crosses, the river freezes again. He realizes different timelines exist on each side. Shocked, Cole reaches Denny's apartment, only to find everything changed. No sign of Denny exists anymore. Panicked, he runs to the loop, where even the guard has been replaced. Cole somehow manages to request Loretta to be brought outside, but the moment he sees her, he is shocked. Loretta is now old, wearing glasses, completely changed. To Cole, it feels like only a day has passed, but crossing the river froze his personal time, while in the real world, many years have gone by. Everyone believed Cole had vanished forever. Over time, Denny, filled with guilt and grief, had confessed the truth about everything. After the revelation, they eventually found Jacob's robotic body and gave it a final farewell. But Cole's disappearance remained a mystery. Years passed, his grandmother died from illness, and later George also passed away. Hearing this breaks Cole emotionally, realizing how long Loretta lived alone and how much she changed. Still, she never let go of the hope she promised her family, that Cole would return one day. For her, even as an old woman, Cole is still the same innocent child. She hugs him tightly, overwhelmed, and takes him home. Soon after, Denny arrives with his daughter, who is now older than Cole. Nervously, Denny asks about Jacob, and Cole comforts him, saying Jacob never blamed him and still considered him his best friend. Relieved, Denny lets their children play together, and they quickly bond, bringing a rare smile to Loretta's face. Denny, though once flawed, is now trying to make things right. Later, Cole returns the book to his teacher and is stunned. She hasn't aged at all. She reveals she is actually a humanoid AI robot created by Gus as a second-generation experiment designed to look fully human so no one would fear her. Cole is shaken but proud, understanding his grandfather's vision. He returns home, takes photos with his mother, and remembers his grandmother's words about capturing meaningful moments. Following that, he climbs a massive tower that can show glimpses of the future. There, he sees visions of his life ahead, his own family, wife, and children, all filled with happiness. Smiling, he realizes that living life on his own terms will lead him to a bright future, and he captures that moment in a photo.